Next up, we have Alex Rogalski, who's with PAVED. Go ahead, Mike.
I think you can hear me now. Great. Thanks, everybody, for coming out on a Friday afternoon. My beer is empty, so I'm going to make this quick so I can get a second one. It's great to be here at Vendesta. I kind of feel like I'm in the middle of a Douglas Copeland novel, so it's a little bizarre, but I'm very thankful for the invitation. Vendesta, how many of you already know what paved arts is? That will determine how much I talk about it. Some of you are semi-familiar. Oddly enough, Vendesta and paved arts share something in common. In last month's issue of Flow magazine, Vendesta was named #1 employer in Saskatoon, which is great. Congratulations. Paved arts, to my great surprise, yet thrill, was named #10 in Saskatoon, which is a big achievement because we are a small artist-run not-for-profit organization of a total of 5 employees, including myself. So I'm glad we share that much in common, and it's exciting to come here today to talk to you guys about what we do at Paved Arts. This slideshow you're seeing is actually something we made for something else, but I applied it to this. I'm far less prepared on a Friday afternoon than I wish to be. But what you're going to see are some stills from different events we host at our building. Some of you are familiar with Paved, which means most of you have never been to our location. We're located not far from here in the heart of Riversdale at 424 20th Street West. We have a big black, imposing facade with a huge public art billboard above it. We run a gallery and we run a production center for Paved Arts. Paved is photography, audio, video, electronic, and digital arts. So we focus on anybody in the media arts. And what we mean when we say we have a gallery and a production center is we're, in some parlance, vertically integrated. Our production center helps artists in Saskatoon create work in the media arts, meaning if you have an interest in photography or digital arts or audio work, we have all the facilities and equipment to help you create that work. Being artist-run means we have no economic interest in your work. We charge an annual membership, and you can come in and use our equipment for very, very reasonable rates to create new work. Our gallery on the main floor is where we hope to encourage people who aren't involved in making work, who have an appreciation of it, to come and see our exhibits. We have a current exhibit on now till December 12th that I encourage you to come down and check out. Seeing from what I gleaned at Vendesta is very high into understanding social media and such. If you're not already following Paved Arts on social media, you pull out your smartphone and do it right now. You can add to our 1,800 Twitter followers, which isn't a huge number, but actually in the scope of Saskatoon, Paved Arts has the highest subscription of Twitter followers for almost any arts organization in Saskatoon. So you can join us on Twitter. We won't flood your feed, but we do provide really interesting information about what we do as an organization, upcoming shows, activities, things like that. The 50-50 draw today is dedicated to our organization. So thanks so much for contributing to that. If you want to know what you're giving 50-50 to, aside from winning 50%, that's the main reason to buy. But by giving money to us, we're using that money to make our production center 24/7 access, which means we're converting our doors to automated fob system. We're updating it so that anybody, right now we operate from noon till 6, which means all of you people here really want to come to Paved, but by the time you finish work and go for drinks, you can't visit us. So we want to put in a system so that if you have an interest in using our facilities, you can get a fob key as a member in good standing and use our facility. So every penny you donate today, even if you don't win, will go to converting our facility. So thanks again for your support. Please donate as you can. Artist-run centers, if you're not familiar with, I threw out the term artist-run center. And the reason I want to point out is it makes us different as a gallery from, let's say, the Ramey or other galleries, in that artist-run means we have a board of directors who are artists, who have a real interest in making sure that we serve artists. We'd love to be making more money than we do as a small organizations, but first and foremost, we want to serve working artists in our community and build that community of artists, build that bigger community of people who have an interest in meeting other artists and understand what's happening locally. It's very hard to have a vibrant artistic scene in a city, and this is where I'm going to veer into the ideas on tap. When we talk about arts, my older sister who lives in a small town always describes what I do as artsy-fartsy. Which I'm sure you've heard living in Saskatchewan. The term artsy-fartsy is slightly derogatory, but I take it as a really, people don't understand. Artsy-fartsy means someone feels uncomfortable when they're around art. We don't have that problem with sports in Saskatchewan. We all feel very comfortable with sports, even if we don't play it. I always see bankers wearing Riders jerseys, and I don't even know if they watch the game, but it's easy to buy into sports in this province. Buying into art and culture can make people uncomfortable for this very reason. I don't get it, right? Which we feel is a wrong response. That's not the wrong response to art. I don't get it is a great response to art because it should start a conversation. It should make you want to learn more about what you're seeing and to form an opinion on it. Really, art, a definition that I like to use is it's a creative expression of an idea. That's really what art comes down to. So people can apply the word art to many different things. Whether you're building electronic bikes, whether you're doing color correction, you can apply the word art to anything. At Paved Arts, we apply it to people in the media arts who are getting across unique ideas through unique devices. When we started many, many years ago, using video wasn't really considered art. It was considered a fringe. Now, in the major galleries all around the world, video art is established. So we at Paved Arts always like to be on the cutting edge of what people are doing with technology. It excites us a lot. As an artist run, that means artists control what we do and who we help in our organization. So we're small, but we've been around for a long time. We started as the Photographers Gallery in Saskatoon back in the late 60s, early 70s. Video Verite came along in the 80s. In 2003, they formed and amalgamated to create Paved Arts. We were located in the warehouse building where, I don't know if you're familiar with Citizen Cafe and Hidden Stitch. We were in that building when that area of Saskatoon was undesirable. And often what happens with artist groups is they take over a neighborhood that nobody wants to be in for various reasons. Well, the landlord of that building said, hey, I think there's some value in our building. Your rent's going to go up. We got pushed out. So Paved Arts and AKA Artist Run, we got together and said, well, what can we do not to get pushed out? And this gets back to creative thinking as artists. I'm sure you're all familiar with the creative class, Richard Florida's ideas. Not too many nods, I won't go too deep into it. Really interesting stuff. But we went into Riversdale, which nobody really wanted to go into at that point, and we found an old restaurant, Toon's Kitchen, for those of you in Saskatoon that are familiar with that restaurant. It was empty at that point. We said, wait, we think we could turn this building into something really interesting and unique. Nobody else believed us. In fact, they didn't even want to give us a mortgage on the building. But we knew in order to grow and sustain ourselves as an organization, we needed ownership over that building. So we bought it very reasonably. We could never afford to get into Riversdale now if we tried, but we bought that building and we converted and renovated it. We were one of the first organizations to really deeply invest in Riversdale and try and bring the city to us and tell the community that Riversdale maybe wasn't what it imagined they thought it was. And that's continuing to happen to this day in that neighborhood of new ideas emerging there and people taking chances. And that's something we really support at our organization. I'm going to see if there's anything else I wanted to kick. The Art Passport Project is something I'm going to talk about very briefly. Paved Arts initiated this year in lieu of the Ramey not being open, but the Ramey is a great supporter of this project. Paved Arts approached a number of other independent galleries in this city. I won't name them all, it's all on the site. But if you look up Art Passport YXE, you can sign up for a free passport. And this passport is something you take around to 14 galleries all around the city, and they have stamps. And as you stamp them, you get more involved with our community. You connect with other people through signing up for this passport online. You find out more about what's happening in the arts community. These 14 galleries, collectively, the exhibitions we put on all year round that we've been doing for many, many years is actually quite a bit larger than the Ramey. I love the Ramey. I'm excited. I can't wait for it to open. But until it opens, there's a lot of art exhibitions that you guys have a great opportunity to check out and really unique galleries and artists all around this city. So check out Art Passport YXE. Come visit me. I've got cards as a reminder. And then you'll come down to our gallery and check us out. One more thing I'm going to plug before I leave. Art Passport YXE is having a fundraiser December 5th. You all look like you're keen and really smart individuals. We're having a trivia night at Amigos. It's $10 to play, and we're going to have fantastic prizes. It's going to be an amazing night of fun trivia hosted by, I don't know if you guys know Mark at all. No, Mark, and I wish I remember his last name. It's not coming to me. Mark hosts trivia there regularly, so he puts on a great trivia night. All of the proceeds will go to making our Art Passport project have a little bit more longevity. It's done on a super, super, super small budget right now. The website, the videos, all of that was done in-house at Paved by our little organization. But if you could check it out and support us, join us on Twitter and come speak to me after. I'll try and speak slower. It's the beer. I haven't had my second one. That slows me down. But if there are any questions, I'd love to take them. And again, thanks, Vendesta, for inviting me for today. Good, I nailed it.
Yeah. The question stays right there, right?
This isn't really a question. This is just a testimonial. Paved Arts really does support the arts community. In late 2014, I was in a band that recorded in their small tracking room in there and recorded a 5-track EP that would not have been possible at any of the other studios in Saskatoon. The pricing was very, very reasonable. They were accommodating. Riley, I assume Riley still works there, came in on a Sunday when he wasn't supposed to work to let us do this because we had a deadline we had to
Please
meet
don't promote that.
for a grant.
Yeah.
And don't expect that. But like in a bind, he was willing to help us out. And that album would not have happened without Paved Arts. It would have just completely died. So I myself am grateful. They are very, very helpful. So thanks,
Thank
Paved
you.
Arts.
Anybody else?
Thank you very much. Excellent.